Welcome to Adam's Gallery, located in the historic market town of Reigate. Established in 2020 by Adam Green and Julie Groves, the gallery occupies a building that dates back to the 1500s and retains many of its original features. Over the past 5 years, the gallery has showcased esteemed artists such as John Piper, Henri Matisse and Stephen Chambers RA. Adam's Gallery is now pleased to present an exploration into the works of Marc Chagall, one of the most esteemed artists of the 20th century. Over 40 works are currently on display at Adam's Gallery. Let us explore some of them together. Chagall was born Moishe Chagall in July 1887 near Vitebsk, Belarus, then part of Russia. After studying in St. Petersburg, in 1910 he made his way to Paris, where he changed his name to the more French-sounding Marc Chagall. Living in an artist colony there with Modigliani, Picasso and Delaunay during the rise of Cubism significantly shaped his artistic perspective, linking him both through friendship and practice to many influential figures of the avant-garde. In 1917, he returned to his beloved native Vitebsk, where he was appointed as Director and Commissar of Fine Art. However, his imaginative and fantasy-based works soon fell out of favour with the more conservative authorities, compelling him to leave for Moscow, where he took on the role of designer for Moscow's new theatre. In 1923, he returned to Paris during the rise of Surrealism, as part of which his work became highly respected. In Paris, he had the opportunity to meet the art dealer Vollard, for whom he illustrated notable works such as Gogol's Dead Souls and the timeless fables of La Fontaine. During World War II, his work was deemed unfit by the Nazi regime, and his, alongside many other artists' work, was destroyed. As a result of this new political climate, in 1941 Chagall and his wife moved to New York. However, after the war had passed, France yet again beckoned and they settled in Nice. Throughout his life, Chagall proved to be a prolific and innovative artist, with his work reflecting both biblical stories known to him from childhood and the rich folklore from his formative years in Russia. He passed away in 1985, leaving behind a legacy that continues to inspire. Speaking of Chagall in the 1950s, Picasso said, "When Matisse dies, Chagall will be the only painter left who understands what colour really is." The Fables of La Fontaine. Marc Chagall's Fables are considered notable illustrations of La Fontaine's moral tales, which were originally published between 1668 and 1694. Chagall's etchings were published 3 centuries later in 1952, and convey the themes of La Fontaine's text, which include allegories from ancient Greek fabulist Aesop and La Fontaine's own fables. By the late 1920s, Ambroise Vollard, dealer, collector, publisher and supporter of French avant-garde artists, had become a prominent figure in the art world. Having worked with artists like Picasso, Matisse, Gauguin and Van Gogh, Vollard's influence was significant amongst French cultural critics. Vollard commissioned Chagall's etchings to accompany La Fontaine's Fables after meeting him in 1923. Their working relationship began with illustrations for Gogol's Dead Souls. Work on the Fables started soon after, although they weren't released to the public for a number of decades. Some conservative critics considered Chagall an unsuitable choice for this project, but Vollard supported him. When questioned about his decision, Vollard stated that Chagall's aesthetic matched La Fontaine's style. Chagall initially created preparatory gouaches, later translating them into etching plates. Dissatisfied with the technician's printing work, he prepared the etchings himself using a dry point technique. From 1928 to 1931, Chagall continued working on the etchings. Vollard was often difficult to work with, juggling multiple projects with other artists at once, and, through correspondences with friends, Chagall betrayed his frustration with the delay in publication. "I finished the books Dead Souls and La Fontaine long ago, but Vollard of course procrastinates. Such is his nature. He's very difficult, Vollard, but nevertheless, I hope." Gogol's The Dead Souls. In September 1923, Marc Chagall, encouraged by a letter from his old friend, the French poet Blaise Cendrars, proclaiming, "Come, you are famous here, and Vollard is waiting for you," he departed Berlin for Paris. This decision significantly influenced his future career. Indeed, Ambroise Vollard awaited him with a commission to illustrate one of his livres de peinture that the dealer so cherished. Chagall proposed illustrating Gogol's Dead Souls, a favourite book both of him and his wife Bella, and commenced work promptly. The narrative chronicles the ignominious hero Chichikov's extensive travels across provincial Russia, engaging in transactions with bureaucrats and swindlers to acquire the names of deceased serfs. This story provided Chagall with an expansive opportunity to imaginally revisit the rural Russia of his youth, aligning perfectly with the magic chaos that resonated with his artistic vision and personal experiences. Chagall executed the etchings for Dead Souls between 1923 and 1927, with the initial printing completed in 1927. These works then remained unissued in Vollard's warehouse, as Chagall described, "sleeping their sweet sleep." The etchings were ultimately combined with the text and published by Thériade in 1948, following Vollard's untimely death. This collection serves as a remarkable testament to the human spirit and its multifaceted nature. As Mayer eloquently states, "This entire world of stupidity, malice, and selfishness is rendered transparent through humour. Everywhere, running through all the comical elements and borne along by a sort of inner joyfulness, there appears the fantastic, rich, inexhaustible reality of Russian life." The Bible Suite lithographs. When Chagall met renowned printer Fernand Mourlot in his atelier in Paris in 1948, he realised that in lithography he had found the perfect graphic medium for his art. It rapidly became his preferred printing technique due primarily to the possibilities it offered with colour. Following Thériade's acquisition of the etched Bible Suite, it was suggested that Chagall reimagine a Bible series in colour lithography. These lithographs, printed by the great French lithographers Mourlot Frères, were published in 1956. They were met with such critical praise that Chagall produced a further set in 1960. The original etchings centred on Chagall's Jewish identity. During economic turmoil, he travelled to Palestine in 1931 for inspiration. By 1934, despite losing financial support from Vollard, Chagall completed 66 plates by 1939. Celui qui dit les choses sans rien dire. Chagall's delicate etchings for this suite were created in 1976, when he was 89. Published by Marc, it is one of his last works, limited to 225 editions. The 25 etchings with aquatint illustrate French poet Louis Aragon's words. Aragon, a founder of the Surrealist movement, wrote poetry ranging from lyrical to political. The title, which might be translated in English as "He who says things without saying anything," reflects the satirical and surreal aspects of Aragon's poetry. The 12 Tribes. In 1962, Marc Chagall created 12 original lithographs as designs for the Jerusalem windows. Printed in Paris by Atelier Mourlot, some feature up to 20 colours. The windows represent the 12 tribes of Israel: Judah, Levi, Simeon, Reuben, Zebulun, Benjamin, Issachar, Joseph, Dan, Gad, Asher, and Naphtali. In 1959, Chagall was commissioned to design stained glass windows for the synagogue of the Hadassah Hebrew University Medical Center near Jerusalem. These windows symbolise Jacob's 12 sons. To share his designs more widely, Chagall worked closely with Mourlot Frères in Paris to produce lithographs from his sketches. He personally oversaw the printing process to ensure accuracy, even discarding an entire first set due to a minor colour discrepancy. Thank you for listening, and we hope you will enjoy seeing the prints discussed, as well as many others in the exhibition. The catalogue for any remote viewing, as well as prices, can be found at adamsgallery.co.uk. Thank you.